All right, let's talk about a huge problem that's getting smarter and sneakier every single day: bots. And I'm not talking about the old, clunky spam bots you're probably picturing. No, we're dealing with something new: sophisticated mimics that are hiding in plain sight.
So, to really get a sense of the scale here, let me ask you a question. From scratch, how long do you think it takes to create a totally fake online identity? An hour? Maybe 10 minutes? Just take a guess.
The answer? It's less than a minute, 56 seconds. I mean, that is a shockingly short amount of time, right? And it really shines a light on just how vulnerable the platforms we use every day actually are.
And look, this isn't just a theory. This comes from a real-world test where a researcher used one of those temporary burner emails, the kind that self-destructs after a few minutes, to set up a new account on X, what used to be Twitter. And the system, it didn't even blink. It wasn't just possible, it was incredibly easy.
So how is this even possible? Well, it's because we're not dealing with simple scripts anymore. The whole game has changed. We are up against a brand new, way more intelligent breed of bot.
This really shows you the evolution. Over on the left, you've got the old spam bots. They were loud, obvious, and you could spot them a mile away. But on the right, that's the modern stealth bot. It's quiet, it's patient, and it mimics human behavior so well that it's practically invisible.
One of their slickest tricks is this: human-like typing simulation. So instead of just instantly pasting a block of text into a form, these bots actually act like a person typing. They'll pause, they'll make little typos and then correct them. They'll even move the cursor around, just like you or I would.
And that's exactly why it works so well. Most security systems are built to catch speed. They're looking for a form that gets filled out in half a second. So by just slowing down and acting human, these new bots, they just waltz right past those old-school defenses.
Okay, so another tool in their arsenal is IP rotation. A single bot can flip through thousands of different IP addresses, which makes it look like all of its activity is coming from thousands of unique users, scattered all over the globe. This one simple trick just shatters any defense that relies on location or the volume of requests. Think about it. A security system might flag 100 signups from one place, but it won't notice one signup coming from 100 different places. It's the perfect camouflage. And for the final piece of the puzzle, bots are now supercharged with AI. Instead of filling out forms with random letters or the same fake info over and over, they use AI to generate totally unique, realistic text for names, comments, you name it. Their submissions end up looking almost exactly like a real person's.
So when you have bots that are this sophisticated, what's the actual damage in the real world? Well, it turns out they are the engine driving a massive, fraudulent ghost economy that's operating completely in the shadows.
And the numbers here are just staggering. One report estimates that by 2026, ad fraud will pull $1.6 billion out of advertising budgets, and that's just in the Middle East and North Africa region. We're not talking about a small leak here. This is a massive hemorrhage of cash. And of course, this is a global problem. It's this enormous hidden economy that's built on pure deception. It destroys trust, it poisons marketing data, and it quietly drains billions and billions of dollars from businesses all over the world.
This fraud happens in a bunch of clever ways, as you can see here. Early on, in what's called the upper funnel of advertising, they'll do things like ad stacking, where they hide multiple ads behind just one, or pixel stuffing, where ads are shrunk down to an invisible size. Then later, in the lower funnel, they'll use tricks like click injection to steal credit for app installs, or lead punching, where they just flood a business with totally fake contact information.
And the cost goes way beyond just the wasted ad money. When a business gets hit, its customer database gets clogged with fake contacts. The sales team wastes hours and hours chasing ghosts. All of their marketing data becomes completely unreliable. It can even damage their ability to send emails. It's a mess.
So at this point, you're probably thinking, okay, but what about those prove you're not a robot tests? And that is a perfectly fair question. But the hard truth is, the defenses we have all relied on for years are now pretty much broken.
We have all been here, right? Clicking on traffic lights, storefronts, buses. For years, these CAPTCHA puzzles were the main line of defense. The whole idea was to create a little test that was super simple for a human, but really, really hard for a computer. Well, that's not the case anymore. Modern bots have three main ways to get around them. First, they can just use AI to solve the puzzles automatically. Second, they can use what are called CAPTCHA farms, where real people are paid pennies to solve them. Or, and this is the really clever one, they can just hijack a real user's session and bypass the test altogether.
So, if the old ways don't work, what does? Well, this whole thing is turned into an arms race, and the new strategy isn't about checking what you submit, it's about watching how you behave. It's all about fighting smarter, not harder.
This table really shows that shift in strategy. The old way, on the left, looked at the content of what was submitted, and it blocked threats after they were already in. It also created a lot of false positives, blocking real people by accident. But the modern approach on the right is totally different. It focuses on user behavior, and it detects threats during the interaction, all before any damage can be done, and it's way more accurate.
Yeah, it's all about looking for the tiny little tells that give a bot away. I mean, a real person's mouse never moves in a perfectly straight line, right? Your typing has a certain rhythm. Modern defenses analyze thousands of these tiny signals, from how fast you type to what kind of device you're on, to find the ghost in the machine.
And this all brings us to the modern defense framework. It's basically a 4-step process. First, you monitor user behavior. Second, you analyze all those little signals in real time. Third, you block the fake stuff before it ever gets into your system. And fourth, and this is the most important part, you do it all invisibly, so your real human users have a perfectly smooth experience.
All of this leaves us with one final and honestly kind of unsettling thought. As bots become perfect mimics and AI makes faking an identity easier than ever, that line between human and machine is getting blurrier and blurrier. And it forces us to ask a really fundamental question. In the very near future, how will we ever truly know who or what is on the other side of the screen?
Subscribe and visit trueintel.ai for more insights.